The worst advice I ever received was to stay strong. That toxic positivity nearly killed me, forcing me to wear a mask of false resilience while I crumbled inside. Society's obsession with unshakable strength is creating a pandemic of walking wounded people, so afraid of appearing broken that they're fracturing under the pressure of pretense. But here's the truth that nobody dares to speak. Your breaks aren't your weakness. They're your initiation into a power you never knew you possessed. The shattered coffee mug lay in pieces on my kitchen floor. Bits of ceramic scattered like stars across the cold tiles, coffee pooling between them. In that moment, staring at the broken pieces, something inside me shifted. How many times do we break just like that mug, thinking we're beyond repair? But what if those breaks, those moments that shatter us, are precisely where our greatest meaning hides? We're all searching for meaning in a world that often feels chaotic and unpredictable. Many of you sitting here today carry wounds so deep you've never spoken them aloud. Some of you wear masks of success while feeling hollow inside. Others wonder if you'll ever find your true purpose, or if you're destined to merely exist rather than truly. When life breaks us, our first instinct is to run from the pain, to numb it, to hide it, to pretend we're fine. But what if I told you that your deepest wounds hold the seeds of your greatest transformation? What if those moments that brought you to your knees are actually doorways to a more authentic? Consider the art of kintsugi, where broken pottery is repaired with gold, making it more beautiful and valuable than before. Our society teaches us to hide our scars, but what if we learn to highlight them? What if we understood that our breaks and cracks are not signs of weakness, but proof of our resilience? Every person in this room has experienced moments that felt impossible to survive. The phone call that changed everything, the relationship that ended without warning, the dream that crumbled despite your best efforts, the loss that left you gasping for air. These moments don't just break us, they break us open. When we're broken open, we have two choices. We can let the break destroy us, or we can let it create us anew. The difference lies not in the severity of our wounds, but in how we choose to make meaning from them. Look at your hands for a moment. These hands have wiped tears. Your own and others, they've clenched in anger, trembled in fear, and reached out in love. They've built things and broken things. They've held on and let go. Every line, every scar tells a story of your journey. But have you ever really thanked them for carrying you through? Our bodies hold wisdom we rarely access. Right now, as you sit here, your heart beats without your conscious effort. Your lungs expand and contract without your permission. Your cells regenerate without your awareness. Even in your moments of deepest despair, your body continues its sacred dance of life. What else might it be trying to tell you? The truth is, we're all walking mysteries of ourselves. We think we know who we are based on our past experiences, our roles, our relationships. But these are just the surface layers of our existence. Beneath them lies an endless depth of possibility waiting to be explored. When was the last time you sat in complete silence and really listened to your inner voice? Not the voice of your fears or your obligations or society's expectations, but your true voice. The one that whispers of your deepest longings and highest. Most of us are so busy running from our pain that we miss the messages it carries. Pain is not just a signal that something is wrong. It's often a signal that something is ready to be born. Every major growth in nature involves some form of breaking. A seed must break to become a plant. A bird must break out of its shell. A caterpillar must break down completely to become a butterfly. You might be thinking, but my pain feels meaningless. My struggles seem pointless. Let me challenge that thought. What if nothing in your life has been pointless? What if every experience, especially the painful ones, has been preparing you for something greater than you can currently imagine? Think about the most difficult period of your life. Remember how impossible it felt while you were in it? Yet here you are, sitting in this room, breathing, surviving, possibly even thriving. What strength did you discover in yourself during that time? What wisdom did you gain? What compassion did you develop for others going through similar struggles? We often make the mistake of thinking that meaning is something we find, like discovering a hidden treasure. But meaning isn't found. It's created. It's forged in the crucible of our challenges. It's birthed from our willingness to face our demons and dance with our dark. Every person who has ever made a significant impact in the world has faced moments of devastating breakdown. But they chose to let their breaks become breakthroughs. They understood that their wounds could become windows, portals through which they could see life with new eyes. What if the universe isn't testing you, but teaching you? What if your challenges aren't punishments, but invitations to grow beyond your current limitations, to love beyond your current capacity, to live beyond your current vision of what's possible? Right now, someone in this room is fighting a battle no one knows about. Someone is questioning whether they have the strength to go on. Someone is wondering if their pain will ever make sense. To you, I say, your breaks are not your endpoints. They are your... Consider how water shapes stone, not through force, but through persistent, gentle action. Your transformation doesn't always come in dramatic moments of insight. Sometimes it comes in the quiet moments when you choose to get up one more time, to try one more day, to love one more time despite your fears. The world needs your broken, open heart. It needs your hard-won wisdom. It needs the unique medicine that only your particular combination of triumphs and tragedies can create. Your breaks have made you more human, more approachable, more real. We're living in a time of unprecedented change and challenge. Old systems are breaking down. Traditional certainties are crumbling. But in this breaking, there is an opportunity for something new to emerge, something more authentic, more sustainable, more aligned with our true nature. The question isn't whether you will break. Life guarantees that you will. The question is what you will do with your breaks. Will you let them define you, or will you let them refine you? Will you use them as excuses to stay small, or will you use them as launching pads to soar? Your most profound transformations often begin in moments you'd never choose for yourself. That promotion you didn't get, it might be redirecting you toward your true calling. That relationship that ended. It might be clearing space for connections that align with your highest good. That financial setback. It might be teaching you what truly matters. We spend so much energy resisting what is, fighting against reality, wishing things were different. But what if everything, yes, everything, is happening for your evolution? What if your obstacles are actually opportunities in disguise? Take a moment to reflect on the person you were 5 years ago. The dreams you had, the fears that kept you awake at night, the things you thought you couldn't live without. How many of those fears proved groundless? How many of those must-haves now seem trivial? How many unexpected blessings came from situations you initially saw as disasters? Life has a way of humbling our plans, of showing us that our carefully constructed maps often lead nowhere. But in losing our way, we sometimes find our way. In abandoning our plans, we sometimes stumble upon our purpose. Think about a tree in a storm. The branches that refuse to bend are the ones that break. The trees that survive centuries aren't necessarily the strongest. They're the most adaptable. They grow around obstacles. They turn their wounds into wood. They transform their breaks into strength. How often do we resist change? Because we're afraid of breaking. We stay in unfulfilling jobs, maintain toxic relationships, cling to outdated beliefs, all because we fear the unknown more than we desire growth. But here's the stronger than you think. More resilient than you know. More capable than you've allowed yourself to believe. Every single person in this room has survived 100 of their worst days. You've weathered storms that once seemed unsurvivable. You've rebuilt from ruins. You've risen from ashes. Yet somehow, we forget this strength when facing new challenges. We forget that our track record for surviving difficult days is perfect so far. Consider how many times you've already reinvented yourself, from child to adult, from student to professional, from single to partnered or partnered to single, from one version of yourself to another. Each transition required something to break. Old patterns, old beliefs, old identities. Each breaking was also a becoming. But here's what we rarely talk about, that the meaning we find in our breaks isn't always immediate. Sometimes it takes years to understand why certain things had to fall apart. Sometimes the meaning reveals itself slowly, like a photograph developing in darkroom chemicals. Your job isn't to force understanding, it's to stay open to the lessons as they emerge. We live in a culture that celebrates instant transformation, and we want our breakthroughs packaged in convenient weekend workshops We want our healing to follow a predictable timeline. We want our growth to be comfortable and controlled. But real transformation rarely works that way. Real transformation often feels like chaos before it feels like growth. It often looks like breakdown before it looks like breakthrough. It often requires us to sit in the uncomfortable space between who we were and who we're becoming. What if you stopped trying to fix yourself and started trying to know yourself instead? What if you approached your breaks with curiosity rather than judgment? What if you asked your pain what it's trying to teach you rather than just trying to make it go away? Every significant spiritual tradition speaks of the importance of surrender. Not surrender in the sense of giving up, but surrender in the sense of letting go of control, of trusting that there might be a bigger picture we can't yet, of allowing life to break us open to greater possibilities. Think about how many of your current blessings came from previous breaks. The friend who helped you through divorce, becoming family. The job loss that pushed you to start your own business. The illness that taught you to prioritize your health. Granting the heartbreak that led you to deeper self-love. We are all walking each other home. Your breaks don't just serve your own growth, they serve others too. Your willingness to be vulnerable about your struggles gives others permission to acknowledge. Your courage to face your pain inspires others to face theirs. Your ability to find meaning in your difficulties shows others that it's possible for them too. But this isn't just about finding silver linings or forcing positive interpretations onto painful experiences. It's about developing the capacity to hold both the pain and the possibility, to acknowledge the reality of your wounds while remaining open to the wisdom they might. Consider the night sky. We can only see the stars because of the darkness. Without the black expanse of space, their light would be invisible to us. Similarly, some truths can only be seen through the darkness of our challenges. Some wisdom can only be gained through the experience of breaking and mending. You might be sitting here thinking, but I'm tired of finding meaning. I'm tired of trying to see the lesson in everything. I just want things to be easier. That's a valid feeling. Growth is exhausting. Transformation is demanding. Breaking and rebuilding takes tremendous energy. But consider this, you're going to face challenges either way. You're going to encounter difficulties regardless of your attitude toward them. The only choice you really have is whether you'll let these experiences break you down or break you open. When we're in the midst of breaking, it's natural to feel lost, to question everything we thought we knew. But what if being lost isn't the problem? What if being lost is precisely where we need to be to find our true path? Like a caterpillar in its cocoon, sometimes we need to lose our form completely before we can take on our new shape. The most powerful question you can ask yourself in moments of breaking isn't, why is this happening to me? But what is this asking of me? What qualities is this situation calling forth? What strengths is it developing? What illusions is it shattering? What truths is it revealing? Think about water for a moment. When it hits an obstacle, it doesn't stop flowing. It finds a new path. It doesn't argue with reality or complain about unfairness. It simply adapts, flows, transforms. Sometimes it goes around, sometimes over, sometimes through, but it always continues its journey, and in doing so, it shapes the very landscape it traverses. You, too, are more fluid than you realize. Your breaks don't define you, they refine you. They strip away what's no longer serving you, revealing the essential truth of who you are. Like a sculptor removing excess marble to reveal the statue within. Sometimes life chips away at us to reveal our true form. Finding meaning in your breaks doesn't mean doesn't mean denying their pain. Doesn't mean forcing yourself to be grateful for trauma or pretending that injustice is okay. It means choosing to be larger than your wounds. It means refusing to let your breaks have the final word on your story. Consider how many times you've already transformed pain into purpose. The comfort you offer others because you know what it's like to need comfort. The empathy you show because you know what it's like to feel misunderstood. The patience you extend because you know what it's like to need time to heal. Your breaks have given you gifts you might not even recognize yet. They've taught you resilience, deepened your compassion, strengthened your spirit. They've shown you what you're capable of surviving, what you're willing to fight for, what truly matters But perhaps the greatest meaning we can find in our breaks is the recognition of our shared humanity. Your wounds connect you to every other wounded heart. Your struggles link you to every other struggling soul. Your breaks make you part of the great human story of falling and rising, breaking and mending, losing and finding. Think about the people who've impacted your life most deeply. Chances are they weren't the ones who appeared perfect and unbreakable. They were the ones who shared their struggles honestly, who showed you it was okay to be human, who helped you feel less alone in your own challenges. You have the same opportunity to let your breaks become bridges to others, to let your wounds become windows through which others can see their own potential for healing, to let your struggles become stepping stones for those walking similar paths. But this kind of transformation doesn't happen automatically. It requires conscious choice. It requires the courage to stay present with your pain long enough to hear its wisdom. It requires the willingness to question your assumptions about what your breaks mean and what they make possible. Every time you choose to find meaning in a break, instead of letting it break you permanently, you strengthen this capacity. Every time you choose to learn from a wound instead of being defined by it, you build this muscle. Every time you choose to stay open to possibility in the face of pain, you expand your capacity for transformation. Consider the difference between a victim mindset and a creator mindset. A victim asks, why me? A creator asks, what now? A victim sees breaks as endings. A creator sees them as beginnings. A victim focuses on what's been lost. A creator focuses on what can be built from here. This doesn't mean denying your victimization if you've been genuinely wronged. It means refusing to let that wrong have power over your future. It means choosing to create meaning even from circumstances you didn't choose. Your breaks can become your breakthroughs. Your wounds can become your wisdom. Your struggles can become your strength. But only if you're willing to stay present with them long enough to receive their gifts. Only if you're willing to look beyond the surface pain to the deeper possibilities they contain. Right now, someone in this room is going through what feels like an unsurvivable break. Someone is questioning everything they thought they knew. Someone is wondering if they'll ever feel whole again. This break is not your ending. It's not even your middle. It's simply part of your unfolding story. The meaning you find in your breaks doesn't have to be grand or profound. Sometimes the meaning is as simple as discovering your own resilience. Sometimes it's about learning to trust your intuition. Sometimes it's about recognizing what you no longer need to care. Think about the stories that move you most deeply. They're rarely stories of unbroken success or uninterrupted happiness. They're stories of overcoming, of transformation, of finding light in darkness. They're stories of ordinary people discovering extraordinary strengths in moments of breaking. You are living such a story right now. Every break, every challenge, every moment of uncertainty is part of your hero's journey. The question is, what meaning will you choose to make from it? Look around this room. Every person here carries invisible stories of breaking and mending. The colleague who seems to have it all together might be navigating a profound personal crisis. The stranger beside you might be in the midst of their own transformation. We're all walking each other home, even when we don't realize it. What if we started treating our breaks as sacred? Not as punishments to endure obstacles to overcome, but as initiations into deeper wisdom. What if we approach them with reverence, knowing they have something essential to teach us about ourselves and about? Consider how often our greatest insights come not from our successes, but from our struggles. How often our most meaningful connections arise not from our strengths, but from our shared vulnerabilities. How often our most profound growth emerges not from our achievements, but from our apparent failures. Your breaks are not random acts of cosmic cruelty. They're not punishment for past mistakes. They're not proof of your unworthiness. They're invitations to evolve, to expand, to embrace more of who you truly are. Finding meaning in your breaks doesn't mean you have to do it alone. In fact, trying to handle everything by yourself might be one of the patterns that needs to break. Sometimes the meaning in our breaks is learning to ask for help, learning to let others in, learning to trust the support that's available. Think about how many times you've helped someone else find meaning in their struggles. How many times you've offered perspective to a friend in crisis. How many times you've held space for someone's pain until they could see their way through. Can you offer yourself the same compassion? Can you trust that others might help you find meaning in your own breaks. We often resist asking for help because we see it as a sign of weakness. But what if it's actually a sign of wisdom? What if knowing when to reach out is as important as knowing how to stand alone? What if our breaks are meant to teach us about interconnection rather than independence? Consider the way light behaves. It travels in waves and particles simultaneously. It can bend around obstacles and penetrate darkness. It can be reflected, refracted, and transformed. But it never loses its essential nature as light. You too can be transformed by your experiences without losing your essential nature. Your breaks don't diminish your light. They give it new ways to shine. Every crack becomes a place where your inner light can beam through. Every wound becomes a window through which others can see your authentic self. Every break becomes a breakthrough waiting to happen. But transformation takes time. It can't be rushed or forced. Just as a broken bone needs time to knit itself back together, your emotional and spiritual breaks need time to reveal their meaning. The key is to stay present in the process, to resist the urge to skip ahead to the lesson before you fully experience the breaking. Think about times in your life when something that seemed like a disaster ultimately led to unexpected blessings. The relationship that ended, making space for a deeper love. The career setback that pushed you toward your true calling. The illness that taught you to prioritize your well-being. At the time, these breaks felt meaningless. Only later did their purpose become clear. What if the breaks you're experiencing right now are setting the stage for similar transformations? What if the meaning isn't yet visible because you're still in the process of becoming? What if your current challenges are actually answers to prayers you didn't even know you were making? We often want our transformations to be neat and tidy. We want to move directly from breaking to breakthrough, from wound to wisdom, from pain to purpose. But real transformation is messier than that. It involves false starts and backward steps. It includes moments of clarity followed by periods of confusion. It requires us to sit with uncertainty until new truth emerges. Your job isn't to force meaning from your breaks. It's to stay open to the possibility that meaning will reveal itself in its own time. It's to trust that even when you can't see the purpose, something deeper is at work. It's to believe that your breaks are not random acts of chaos, but integral parts of your evolution. Consider how many of your current strengths were forged in moments of breaking. How many of your deepest insights came from periods of confusion? How many of your most meaningful connections grew from times of vulnerability? Your breaks haven't just happened to you. They've helped create you. Finding meaning in your breaks doesn't mean you have to like them. You don't have to pretend that pain doesn't hurt. You don't have to force gratitude for experiences that wounded you. You just have to remain open to the possibility that even your deepest wounds can serve a purpose larger than your current understanding. Right now, someone in this room is wondering if they'll ever make sense of their current struggles. Someone is questioning whether their pain has any purpose. Someone is trying to force meaning from an experience that still feels raw. Give yourself time. Trust the process. Allow meaning to emerge naturally rather than trying to manufacture it. What if every break in your life has been preparing you for this moment? What if every challenge has been strengthening you for what's ahead? What if every wound has been teaching you exactly what you need to know to fulfill your purpose? You might not see it yet. You might still be in the darkness of breaking. You might still be questioning everything you thought you knew. But remember, transformation doesn't always announce itself with fanfare. Sometimes it whispers. Sometimes it works in silence. Sometimes it operates beneath the surface of your awareness. Think about how many times you've already transformed without realizing it was happening. How many times you've grown through experiences you would never have chosen. How many times you found strength you didn't know you had because circumstances demanded it of you. Your breaks are not the end of your story. They're the beginning of a new chapter. They're not punishment for your past. They're preparation for your future. They're not signs of your weakness. They're opportunities to discover your strength. There's what you need to understand deeply. The meaning you find in your breaks isn't just for you. Your transformation becomes a light for others. Your wisdom becomes a guide for those walking similar paths. Your healing becomes hope for those still in their own darkness. Consider how many people might be waiting for the wisdom you're gaining through your current challenges. How many hearts might be waiting to be touched by the compassion you're developing through your struggles? How many lives might be waiting to be changed by the strength you're building through your breaks? You are not just healing yourself. You're helping heal the world. You are not just finding personal meaning. You're contributing to our collective understanding of what it means to be human. You are not just transforming your own pain. You're showing others the transformation. This is why it's so crucial to stay present with your breaks, to resist the urge to numb them or run from them. Because in fully experiencing them and finding meaning in them, you become a bridge for others. Your breaks become stepping stones on which others can cross their own troubled waters. Think about the people who've influenced you most deeply. They weren't the ones who claimed to have all the answers. They were the ones who showed you how to find your own answers. They weren't the ones who avoided breaking. They were the ones who showed you how to find meaning in the breaks. You have the same opportunity now. Every break you face with courage, every wound you transform into wisdom, every struggle you turn into strength becomes part of your gift to the world. Your breaks aren't happening to you. They're happening for you and through you for others. Finding meaning doesn't mean forcing meaning. It doesn't mean pretending everything happens for a reason. It means staying open to the possibility that even your deepest pain can serve a purpose. It means trusting that even your darkest moments can lead to light. Right now in this room, transformation is happening. Hearts are opening. Minds are shifting. Souls are awakening to new possibilities. Your willingness to face your breaks, to find meaning in them, to let them transform you, creates ripples that extend far beyond your own life. You might not see the full impact of your transformation. You might not know all the lives you touch by choosing to find meaning in your breaks. But trust that every time you choose growth over bitterness, learning over despair, possibility over limitation, you're contributing to the healing of our world. Your breaks are your birthright. They're your initiation. They're your path to becoming more fully yourself. Don't waste them by wishing they hadn't happened. Don't diminish them by trying to rush through them. Honor them for what they are, segues to deeper wisdom, catalysts for greater growth, bridges to your highest potential. You leave this room today, carry with you this truth. You're not broken. You're breaking open. You are not falling apart. You are falling into place. You are not losing yourself. You are finding yourself in ways you never imagined possible. Let your breaks become your breakthroughs. Let your wounds become your wisdom. Let your struggles become your strength. And most importantly, let your transformation become a light that helps others find their way through their own dark. The meaning you seek is already within you, waiting to be discovered. The strength you need is already within you, waiting to be accessed. The wisdom you long for is already within you, waiting to be revealed. Trust the process. Trust your journey. Trust that every break is leading you exactly where you need to go. And remember, in the end, it's not about finding meaning in your breaks. It's about letting your breaks reveal the meaning that was there all along. The time has come to embrace your breaks, to welcome them as teachers, to recognize them as portals to greater possibility. The time has come to let your breaks transform not just you, but through you, the world. Rise now knowing that your breaks have not diminished you. They have enlarged you. They have not weakened you. They have strengthened you. They have not destroyed you. They have recreated you. You are ready. You are worthy. You are powerful beyond measure. And your greatest breakthroughs lie just on the other side of your willingness to find meaning in your breaks. Go forth and let your light shine through every crack, every wound, every break. The world is waiting for the gift that only your transformed self can offer.